So this obviously came from a personal experience you had, back in 1982. Can you talk about that experience and how it changed you and perhaps how it made you the artist you are as well today?
Let's say that for me, the making of Lebanon was a need. As it was my true personal story. It's not based on my story. It's exactly my true personal story. So of course, generally it was, a need to unload, I need to expose the war as is without all the heroic stuff and the rest of the cliches. But it was mainly a need to I don't know if to say forgive myself is the right expression, but maybe to find some understanding because I have a responsibility. I feel guilty. I mean, my responsibility was inevitable, a part of my destiny. You could see in the first war sequence, the Banana Grove sequence, that if you are pulling or not pulling the trigger, so it's the same, you are a kind of executor. Death will come because of you anyway. So, okay, it was a no way out situation, but in the end there is a huge difference between understanding that you didn't have a choice to the fact that you feel responsible, that you feel guilty.
There's a sense that he's removed from the action, which is almost a little more terrifying, just him looking through this hole. And that was your experience as well, sort of with that wall between you and the actual action.
I was the gunner, gunner in a tank, and it's interesting because in the Israeli army, in that time, and even today, of course, this is an obligation to go to the army. And if you are healthy, so if you are not talented enough to be a pilot, and you don't want to volunteer to be a ground soldier, so they will send you to the tanks.
Right.
So the tanks are, in a way, the proletarian, the worker class of the army, but when you deal with killing, with shooting, so when a pilot needs to kill, so this is very sterile, he's upstairs. When a ground soldiers need to kill, so he really run between the bullets. But when a gunner inside a tank needs to shoot, so this is the most difficult action because yes, you are behind this wall, you are in a way protected, and you need to do it in a, it's not with a cold blood, but you know what I mean.
It can't be easy to do. If it's easy to do, then you got to have your head examined, especially on a personal level.
I won't deny that the process itself was, let's say, the best treatment that I could achieve for myself. But it was a byproduct. It wasn't something that I planned to earn. I suddenly found myself earning it through the process. And it's not that, I was in the darkness, I was sick, and now I'm healthy. It's still the first thought in the morning and the last thought before you are falling asleep. The soul is still bleeding, but I can say that I can now maybe accept myself, be more complete with myself, learn to smile with the pain. And I consider myself lucky because I found my way to unload it. What about thousands of men that don't have the option to do it?
Okay, actually, there's an interesting anecdote in here. When you were in shooting, you had this swelling in your foot. Is that correct? And the shrapnel came out from...
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think that it can't be coincidental? Do you think it's anyway was triggered? This physiological thing was triggered by you reopening these wounds? It's a physical reopening.
I will tell you exactly the story. When I came back from the war, I had 15 pieces of, how do you call them?
Shrapnel?
Shrapnels.
Yeah, metal, right?
Small pieces of metal inside my leg. After 2 or 3 months, the body rejected 12.
Okay.
And they told me that I will need to live until the end of my life with those 3 that left because they are deep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so, in the end it wasn't too much difficult because between summer to winter you feel a bit pain. You are beeping in airports when you are crossing but that's it. And yes, when I started to shoot, so after the first day, I start to feel pains. After the second day, it was really a deep and strong pain. After the third day, I felt like I have infections, and I didn't do the connection yet between, I thought that, I don't know. And a doctor came to the set and gave me a very strong antibiotic, and then came Friday. We didn't shoot on Friday, and I was barely walking. And I went to bed with a heavy fever. And I took my heavy antibiotic, fall asleep for something like 12 hours, and when I woke up like a new man, without fever, without pains. And when I looked at my bed on my sheets, I saw those 3 pieces of metal. So yes, it's amazing the connection between the body and the soul.
Now you had put the actors in this crazy hot tank, and you were banging against it and everything. Did you ever have a point where the actors were like, "Wait a minute, was it like I can't imagine someone putting Anthony Hopkins in that tank in 500-degree temperature and bang"? Were the actors always acquiescent? Were they always cooperative under those circumstances, or did it get difficult at any point?
First of all, they are not Hollywood stars.
I'm sorry?
First of all, they are not Hollywood stars, so
I know.
and you know they are actors. They need situation like this, and in the end, I think that they went out from the feeling better actors.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it must have had an impact on their performances? I mean, a positive impact in what you wanted. Do you feel it made a big difference?
Believe me, in Israel, all the actors between the age 20 to 25, 26 wanted to be inside this tank.
Yeah, I'll bet. It wasn't hard getting them to come in. Well, that'll do it for me. I appreciate you sitting down with me, sir. Congratulations on a
Thank you very
terrific
much.
movie.